Mehdi.
Okay, with the producer and writer of Shadow of the Light, a 7-minute musical, Jony Yuwono is with us. You're in Indonesia, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday where I am. What time is it where you are?
I'm at home actually. Yeah. In Jakarta, it's 9 a.m. right now,
9
morning.
a.m. on Sunday?
Yes.
Gotcha. So tell me about this film. It's a musical, of course, and it's got a beautiful song, but it's also kind of about shadow puppetry and kind of generations of shadow puppetry and kind of keeping this craft kind of going to the next generation, I guess, right? It's like kind of a really interesting, like artistic kind of expression that you don't see often. And it's like, I guess I'm assuming this is personal for you, this story.
Kinda in a way. That's correct. Yeah. Well, I guess like at the beginning, I mean, we try to explore and as we see a lot of the cultural stuff that we have, I mean, Indonesia is rich for its cultural heritage. I mean, many people only know about Bali, but aside from Bali, I mean, like Indonesia has other islands and other cities that are amazing in their cultural heritage. However, the sad thing is that like we are facing the problem of sustainability in a way that the older generation is having difficulty passing on the craft to the newer generation. So what we found out is that through our interview and survey with all those puppet master, they were saying that okay, the younger generation took more interest about the foreign culture, like the Korean pop or the Hollywood movie. I guess like they are more
Yeah.
in tune to that. However, the way I see it is that like the problem is not only on the younger generation. From what we found out is the older generation play a part too in the passing on of the baton. The thing is that like what we found out is time has changed.
Yeah.
The the way the older generation learned the craft from their previous generations would not work anymore.
Yeah.
What I mean is that like the concept of uh, hard work breeds passion. That's what the older generation, the previous generation pass on to in the sense that, well, if at the beginning, if you don't like it, it's no problem. Just keep doing it. There will be a point in which, like, after you keep repeating doing it, you'll be good at it, and after you're good at it, then you'll start to love it.
Gotcha.
That's,
Yeah.
however, that wouldn't work nowadays.
Well, it's also the world is smaller, right? So you have that famous scene there. Well, I'm calling it a famous scene in your film where the young kid is playing with like a modern kind of Western, Toy
Yes,
Story toy kind of thing, right? And
yes,
he's using this ancient puppet that's been created probably like 1,000 years ago, and he's like banging this plastic toy with this beautiful piece of art, and then the older statesman comes to them and like is so angry with them and trashes the toy, and basically because he's like, what are you doing? And it's like, well, this is the world that we live in, right? Like 100 years ago you wouldn't be have the influence of the Western world like you do now, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's why he got so angry. And what he doesn't realize is that, like, when he smashed the toy, kind of instilled a traumatic experience towards the younger generation.
Yeah.
So, what he ended up having is having his son not wanting to touch on because being too scared to touch uh to hold on to any of those puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so after so the movie progresses, showing that how, of course, with the television, movies, and other entertainment, ultimately wayang puppetry becoming less and less popular because
Yeah.
it's happening. I mean, less and less audience coming in, and even like in schools, I mean, like children are now seeing those wayang leather puppet only in their textbook in school. never really to see the performance itself.
Yeah, and it's
So we,
yeah, no, it's
so,
just amazing because it's so beautiful. It's such an amazing expression. You show it in your film, right? Where like the young girl at the end of the film, where she's modernizing it. She modern they modernized the puppetry, right? With the special effects and the green screen. It's still
yeah,
there, right? If they just have to change the concept, right?
yeah, yeah, because that's what I believe. I mean, in a way, the lesson that I'm trying to portray is that like, in order for the succession to happen, you need to realize that to the younger generation, hard work breeds passion. This motto should be reversed because for the younger generation, passion breeds hard work.
Yeah,
Once they got a hook into something, when once they are interested into something and their passion got burned, they will find ways. They can find ways. With, I mean, like the world is in their finger now. With the internet, they will Google, YouTube, or search through it, and passion can reach hard works.
yeah.
In a way, like the simple play with her grandfather initiate the sparks in her that, like you mentioned, ultimately modernize the craft and bring it to be more relevant to the today's society.
Yeah. I just want to jump back to what you said a couple minutes ago. You were talking about how you would like the older generations, they would like work hard and then they would learn to love it after kind of
Yes,
like the frustration at the beginning. And it's almost like we have so many like kids have so many options now, right? Where like
yes, yes,
probably 100 years ago they probably had two options, right?
yes, yes,
Like
yes, yes.
soccer and this, right? So but now it's like there's a million options. It's like they're not gonna, if they don't like something right away, they'll just move on to something else.
Yes, that's kind of too many options, too many to choose from, and that's why I need to tackle on the first problem in the sense that gain their interest first instead of just forcing them onto the routines or the hard works behind it or the perfecting the craft. Well, that can comes later. They need to like it first, otherwise they will jump ship right away.
All right, let's talk about this great musical that you did. So it was the song already like you already found the song, I'm assuming before you started shooting?
Yes. The song come first. The song was inspired because like there's just a curious aspect of me which like trying is it possible? Okay, in the middle of the song you can hear there's a off tune, a different way of singing that's called sinden. It's usually it's a traditional Javanese traditional way of singing which can usually found in a wayang puppet show. So I'm just curious saying that can this scene then be combined with pop? And that triggered the conversation and ultimately talking to my composer friend Elvin, and he said, well, it's hard because they are not using do re mi fa sol. They're using a different key, but it's not impossible. Afterwards, then we just kind of bang on it, and then uh, interestingly, he asked, okay, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. Let's make a song, but what's the context? And a story flow out from me. When he heard about it, it took him quite some time before afterward that he got back to me with the lyrics and with the song. We cried during the first hearing, and afterwards, then he said that the song is inspired by the story. It's quite a pity if the story didn't get shoot in to make it into a movie or something. So that's where you get Shadow of the Light.
Okay, so then you got the song and then you're gonna start shooting, and then you had your collaborator Tono, who's the director of the film. There's a lot
Yes.
going on in this 7 minutes. It's like different, you have a lot of actors, like different generations, a lot of transitions, a lot of camera movement. This it seems like a pretty high budget. Like tell me about the kind of putting the film together. How like that must have been a pretty stressful experience. That paid
Oh
off.
yeah. Oh yeah. The pain. I mean, yeah. Of course, we do a proper casting. We actually like we have. all those candidates to send us a casting video even. I mean, and ultimately selected the the actors and actresses. The shooting took place in the in a small village outside of the Solo, Surakarta, which is like a city in the central Java. Well, it was a 2 day shot that kind of the first day we started at 4 a.m. in the morning and finished at 1 or 2 a.m. It was
Yeah,
like an intense. And the second day we started at 8 in the morning and it go all the way till 8 the next day. 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. It's
yeah.
just non-stop shooting. They come to a point in which like the crew was just simply tired, but we just keep going on and just keep everybody's spirit up. And interestingly is that like the commitment, the feel and the I guess I guess they all really have that desire to really push this forward because as a as a Indonesian, we all share the same vision in the sense that we wouldn't want this is something to showcase our culture. This is
Yeah.
something this is the time to make proud of what we have, and that's why everybody keep going and yeah, takes after takes. Even the audiences, I mean, like the ending shot, the ending shot with the whole stage with the animation and everything was shot in like 4 a.m. in the morning. It's a good thing that the audience still keep their smiling face and inspired face there.
Yeah, no, no, totally. Yeah, because it's like it's like I guess you're kind of alluding that it was a cultural film. It was about your country. So they was more about there's a lot of meaning to it, not just for you and director and the musician. It was for
Mhm.
everybody. The crew, all the crew members were, I'm assuming they were. This film was emotional for them, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because like we recruited the lighting, the design, and I mean the crew, the team members are recruited from Solo, the from the surrounding areas, and this wayang puppet culture is very strong there, and they feel the strain. They feel the that this is going away um with all the contents from outside and modern contents coming in. It's they kind of feel it too, and that's why they are so committed. Even the team that makes the animation make the wayang dance around and move so smoothly, and it was given a very short deadline, but they managed to pull it through, and it's amazing. I mean, kudos. I mean, need to thank them for that, really.
Yeah, because people like in the white, like where I come from, they don't know much about Indonesia, but it's a kind of an interesting country. It's like there's been a lot happening. Like you left the Netherlands kind of owned you, and then you left, got your independence after World War II, and then like, is it true that there's not really a one language? Like there's like over 700 people speak over 700 languages in Indonesia.
Well, the government actually we have one language, which is Bahasa Indonesia as
The
a
official
common language.
language. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but we have hundreds of dialects because like Indonesia have 1,000 ethnic groups.
yeah,
Yes, because we are an archipelago of a collection of islands spread across from in between the Asia continent with the Australian continent. So this is Indonesia that have a lot thousands of islands. So each islands have their own cultural because they are isolated from the world. So they have their own ethnic group, cultural language sometimes too.
yeah. A new like dialect kind of forms within that isolation, I guess, right? So
Yes, yes, yes.
that's so interesting. It's just like, it's fascinating. But then there's also this unity, like as you described in the film, right? Where like you want
Mhm.
to make sure that your traditions and your legacy is there, that people remember the past, I guess, right?
Yes, yes. Because like trying to show them that I mean culture or tradition many people, many younger people see that as a burden, see that as a, oh, I have to do this ceremony, or I have to take care of this wayang, or I have to do that because my father or my
Yeah,
grandfather asked me to, and it takes my time away and my attention away from doing what I like. That's how people nowadays see culture as. However, we are trying to show that culture should live among us in a way that it should be an asset. It's something that shows our identity. That's what separates us from the rest of the world. So embrace it and try to learn the deeper meaning of it and try to bring it out as uh, in part of whatever that you are doing. I mean, like just like the young lady at the end. Well, she kind of modernized it. She
right.
revitalized. Yes, because of course there are times when I'm showing this video. There's some people who have extreme opinion who say that, well, for me, wayang should be a leather puppet. Why are you showing this at the end? It's kind of an insult. Oh, I was taken aback. I mean, in a sense, I was first. I said, this is just my opinion, a personal opinion, a projection. However, which is more important? Preserving the physical puppet itself. I mean, taking care of it, maybe putting it on display or putting it in a museum, preserving the physical aspect of it,
Mhm.
or preserving the story, the moral, the about the all those philosophy or advice that contains within the story behind the puppet
Yeah,
that your
it's
ancestor got through the generation. And of
yeah.
course, he answered the story. If it is the story, then the physical aspect can change, can be
It's just an
modified.
amazing, it's an amazing arc in the film. It's like it's almost like the analogy is the moving images on a piece of paper where you can kind of manipulate the moving images. And now we're watching these movies and like with these budgets and like they can put anything they want on screen and they can put a tiger talking to a human and you know what I mean? If they want to be in
Yeah,
Paris, they can have Paris in the background and it looks real. You know what I mean? It's like that's the evolution. It's sort of like even with puppetry, we're like, look what she can do now. Look what started, thousands of years ago in
hmm,
this culture, and look what this person can do now. And but it's still the same arts, right?
yep, yep. I mean, like even if we look at it, I mean, stories, folk stories or traditional stories, those are is what Disney made into a big budget box office. I mean, if you look at Aladdin, it's from children's stories,
Yeah,
traditional stories. Aladdin, Mulan, the Aurora, and the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's it's traditional stories from an ethnic group that get modified and Disneyfied in a way.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah. No, and there's a lot of nuance in your film too, where I talked about like the older statesman kind of like throwing the toy, but it's sort of like out of frustration. But then there's also older people in your film where like you have to embrace the younger generation, right? We've all been dumb and stupid in the past, and it's a
Yes.
generational tradition, right? So
Yeah.
basically, in poo-pooing the past, poo-pooing traditions, right? But
Yeah.
it's just that you just have to like embrace children, right? And then there's the younger children who like the girl doing it within the pillow. Sorry, on the bed, right? And then
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and then
He got angry. Definitely, he got angry. He was like, "Oh, that's my precious wayang. Why are you playing it?" But wait a sec. She is holding a wayang because previously he is said in a way that the son tried to stop his granddaughter from touching the wayang.
yeah,
In a way, that is good because like yes, this is my precious wayang, but if that's the case, then who else will hold on to this after I pass away? They become a recurring thought in his. And ultimately, when he see his granddaughter play the wayang on his bed, he hesitated, think that shouldn't it be a
yeah,
good thing? However, the tragedy happened. The granddaughter broke the wayang,
yeah,
which which definitely trigger a lot of emotion in him. Uh, Most prominently, anger, sadness,
Yeah.
regret. However, when he looked at his granddaughter, he was reminded. I mean, like, hey, this scene happened before, and at that time, with my son, I reacted in anger. And where does it bring me?
Hmm.
My son never to touch wayang again,
Yeah.
so I have to find an alternative. So he figured out, okay, ultimately, I am a dalang, I am a puppet master.
Yeah.
There's a wayang in my hand, and there's an audience in front of me. So my job is to entertain, let the show rolls, and that's where he engaged his granddaughter and played.
Yeah. It's
So
amazing. Yeah.
that's the reason. I mean, like the puppet wayang puppet performance is called a play, and they are to be played, not to be displayed.
Yeah.
That's uh, so that's kind of the message that we're trying to convey.
So what is she doing? Like, is there, I don't know if she's an actor or she actually does this in real life, but is this, can people see these puppetry plays like she's doing in the end of the film?
Oh, the technology is not there yet, actually.
Oh, so
Well, of course,
you guys made it up. You guys went from the past to the future. Oh, I
yeah.
that's even more brilliant. Okay.
Well, we hope with this movie it can trigger people to actually try to realize it,
That's
similar to like the
amazing.
Jetstone, hopefully.
Yeah. Because I even love the little device where the dad is like is basically recording on a camera, right? Like he's basically, it's sort of like a
Yes,
nice touch because it's like this is where we are now. This is what we do. We're recording the moment, right?
yes,
Like this beautiful moment between three the grandparent and a granddaughter, and it's like
yeah,
it's being recorded. But I don't know. I just thought it was there's a lot of great stuff in this film, and it's like so much, it's such a large cast too, different scenes, different moments. Where
yeah.
the especially in the beginning of the film with the older kind of faces. Was it hard finding, like you kind of mentioned before, but was it hard finding all the casts for this film?
Uh, well, the main cast, yes. We took care in making sure that because we realized that it's going to be a close-up shot where the expression, the emotion will be displayed. So um, one of the one of the casting is that we asked the actor to send us a video of them displaying just their face without any movement, without anything, changing from anger to confusion, sadness, and happiness ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, Chaotic, this junior actor, just did an amazing job that we ultimately cast him. Unfortunately, even during the shooting, Chaotic, the old statesman, like you mentioned, it's he he was actually sick. He was suffering from colon cancer, recovering
Mm-hmm.
from there.
Oh wow.
So during the shooting, he just had an operation on his back. There's a hole on his back. Uh, yeah, during casting, he was mentioning, he was saying that, okay, I have this condition, so it's okay if you wouldn't select me based on that because I wouldn't be able to do rigorous activity or rigorous uh, acting. But of course, the 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 way I vision is that like there won't be much rigorous action. I need your face, I need your expression, I need your emotion, and ultimately we recruited him. But during the shooting, oh my God, this old gentleman just give his all, running during the raining scene, running through to take care of the wayang, and then falling and everything. We the even the director has to repeatedly ask him to like, please do it in moderation, please hold on.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he really pulled it through. And also, it's also unfortunate actually. I mean, like this Thursday, yeah, the 8th of August, he just passed away. So in a way, this short film, uh, hopefully is kind of his last in a way.
Yeah, it's well, you
Yeah,
his legacy's there, I guess, right? Like
yeah,
he's been documented, right?
yes. Hopefully, he will rest in peace, and yeah, let us remember him as a great actor who really give his all in this.
So tell me about the
Mhm.
like the what about like the designs of the actual shadow puppets and in the the production design because it's a beautiful film. Did somebody like where did you get all the puppetry and where did you get everything? Did someone create it?
Oh, we rented it from the local puppet master,
Okay.
Mr. Tono. The director is yeah, the setting, the shot, everything is actually set in his village. So he knows people, and he said that he knows a puppet master. He rent slash borrow it from him, and then have the whole collection of it, the stage and everything. That's the We didn't get to make a new one. Of course, we make some original new one. Like for the shooting, we make several shadow puppets for the shooting, and I still remember Mastono coming forward to me and said that, "Okay, look at this puppet." I said, "Yes, wow, it's so amazing. All the meticulous details of the holes being carved so carefully." And said,
Yeah.
I, are you sure you want to break it? Yes, it's quite a pity to break it in half for the scene of the broken puppet. And yeah, so you sure? I said, yeah, for the sake of the film, let's break it. and and uh, yeah, there's a photo in which like yes, it was broken in half, and we were like contemplating, yeah, well, um, but yeah, then there's a scene also where the puppet got in was left in the rain because they were in a hurry, and
Yeah.
raindrops trickled down on the puppet. And I remember the puppet master that we engaged to as our consultant to advise, and he said, do you know that the puppet is made from leather, and leather didn't work well with water, so you shouldn't wet it." Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then what
kind
about
of
the
make.
like what about getting all the doing all the costumes? Like kind of making sure the costumes are genuine. Where did you find all the costumes and everything?
Yes, we rented from around the, well, we make sure that it's in accordance to the era and setting.
Yeah.
So but luckily the costume is not much of a problem because like these costumes are still worn by people in the village area. Well, I mean they, and yeah, in Indonesia, especially in Central Java, people are still proudly wearing them in their daily life. So it's not really an hassle or an issue in getting all of those.
Yeah. What did you, okay, so obviously your themes are intact. It's a great film. It's really a film that identifies your culture. I hope it basically I'm sure that there's gonna be some great reaction. You sent it to our festival, like North American perspective, North American audience. What did you think about our audience, the feedback video that you sent, what they had to say about your film? I'm just curious what your perspective is, what they had to say.
We are definitely delighted and touched because it can trigger so much emotion in them. I mean, the feedback film, the audiences, we can, yeah, we are truly touched. We never expected it to gain such appreciation in a way that we can see the sparks in their eyes, and the breathlessness and the emotion is being portrayed, and it's, I guess, they it is infectious. We never expected our short film to be able to do that, but it we are truly delighted to gain such appreciation, and we hope that it, it can trigger and yeah, it can inspire more, and hopefully then when they come to visit Indonesia, let's ask for wayang, let's ask for for this
Yeah,
traditional performance, because otherwise then we'll only see it in the movie, which is quite a sad thing.
yeah. Well, hopefully
Mm.
too. Yeah, well. I have a 5-year-old son who wants to go to Indonesia. He loves the Oceania, so he wants to go there, all the islands. So, so
Mm.
you have a
All
fan.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome.
On that note, great film. Really great talking to you. Hopefully you keep making movies and we can talk again when you make your next film.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and definite
I wish
thanks.
you the ultimate best of success on this film. I think it's fantastic, and I hope it gets everything that you want out of it. So, and goes everywhere, all the festivals around the world. So it deserves it.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Matthew.
Thank you.